Sasa Steve umeland Brampton. Hizo siku za kwanza ilikuwa aje? Kwanza ulikuja Mei ni summer. Baridi kakushtua ikakuwa warm, ukadhani iko sawa. Kwanza nini kuturn flowers ilikuwa aje?
Yeah, the first time. Yeah, ilikuwa baridi, I remember. Like in mid-teens temperature, right? So nakumbuka tulikuwa tunavaa gloves, kofia na nini. But a lot of people walikuwa, unajua ukitoka winter, even at 10 degrees feels like it's warm. So tulikuwa tuna stand out sana. Nakumbuka tukienda kwa mall. Yeah, right? Tuna stand out kwa sababu tume overdress in a sense. But yeah, alafu nilikuwa naona hiyo excitement ya summertime. Unajua summertime ikikaribia, there's so much excitement in the air. So the first year I did not understand it. Nilikuwa like, we just like where I come from, we have so much sunshine throughout the year. I did not understand that concept of, you know, summertime happiness. Until yeah, at the end of the summer when the cold started coming in, that's when now I started to see why it's such a happy time, right? But yeah, so the first few months were very tough because we didn't know anybody, right? It was just the three of us, and then now we started working. I had never worked a job in my life, right? I'd run a business, but that's a little different, right? So yeah, I had never worked a job, so starting to figure those things out, getting jobs, and then I found flying school because that was the plan, right? To keep going into flying school. So I found a flying school, but it was kind of far. So then now you need a car to get to school, and then then just figuring those things out. Yeah, those first few months were pretty tough, honestly. But in the end, you learn and you understand and you know what to do.
Food, kulikuwa na culture shock kwa food.
Oh, yeah, food. Yeah, the food is actually, I think it's very different here. And I think maybe it's how it's grown. But I remember living in Kenya, I used to eat a lot. When you're young, when you're growing, you eat a lot. I used to eat a lot, quite a bit. And not just me and all my friends in my age group. We used to eat a lot. Yeah. But when I moved here, that appetite, it declined very fast, right? It declined very fast. And I think it's just, the body reacting to the food. So yeah, I think, food is a big part of moving, right? Maybe I don't even think it's talked about enough, right? It's a very big part of when you move. The food is very different. And it takes a lot of effort to eat kind of the same quality of food, find the very healthy food. You have to, maybe get out of the urban areas to go and find the more organic food. But yeah, especially the fast food. The fast food, my body didn't like it very much. My body didn't like it very much. But yeah.
Bado kuna fast food join tour on a visit say.
Now, if I eat fast food, maybe pizza.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Domino's. Domino's or Little Caesars. Little Caesars not very popular, but I like Little Caesars, yeah.
Oh, they have good cheese bread though.
Yes.
The cheese bread is bomb.
Yeah, sasa tuendelee na entrepreneurship sasa. Sasa au kwenda the driving school, si ndio? The flight school.
The flight school. No, I actually enrolled. I enrolled in flying school. I enrolled and dropped out 3 times. Right? And the thing with flying school is very expensive and there's no funding. Right? You can't get like OSA for flying school. Now there's programs where they put the degree and the flying school, but if you just want to do the flying school, and back in 2013, there was no degree programs for flying school. So flying school is very expensive if you're going to do it by yourself, right? So, you know, one of the culture shocks is when you move is personal finance, right? Here you have to know how much money you make, how much you're gonna spend, how much you can save, right? But I had never done that. Even in my business, I used to make money and I go and spend it. I make money. That was the logic behind the business, right? So what happened is when we landed, you know, we were making minimum wage. We are doing warehouse jobs, right? But when I did the math, it looked like I could afford flying school, right? And it's because when you first land, you don't have a lot of expenses, right? You're using the most basic phone plan, which is like $25. Your expenses have not started creeping up, right? Your food expenses, you're probably living in the most affordable place you can get when you come in, right? So using those low numbers, I figured I could get into flying school. But within a few months, you know, lifestyle starts catching up with you. And before I knew it, I could no longer afford, those numbers didn't match up. So that's why I dropped out of flying school the first time, even the second time, right? It was the same thing. But every time I went a little bit further, right? And then, so the second time I got a better paying job, right? But then I feel like that the lifestyle creep still comes on you one way or another. And then, the third time too, same thing, right? So kind of worked through it, but I couldn't finish it, right? I couldn't finish the first license. So in flying school, you have 4 different licenses and they build on top of each other, right? So the first one is a private license, which you need about 45 flying hours of training to get that one. That's the one you get if you just want to fly for fun, you know, maybe take your friends or, you know, or your wife from, you know, for a weekend away, you go rent a plane kind of a deal. That's the license you get. So that's the one I was working towards. And I think I got like 35 hours, 10 hours short of that one. So, but flying, so I got into flying as a default because I was trying to get away from doing a full program. But what happened is I fell in love with flying, right? I really liked flying. For some reason, even today, I really like flying. So it is still on my bucket list, right? It is still something I have to do, right? Even if not as a career, I still have to, you know, fly and become a pilot because I think it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun just to be able, you know, to rent a plane for the day or for the weekend, take your friends somewhere, you know, to some lake, and then come back. So yes, manze. So with the flying school, so since that didn't work out, so I got into sales. Right, I got into insurance sales, so life insurance and investments. So I got like certified. There's a few certificates you can do that you get certified to sell insurance and investments, right? So hiyo ndio nilianza kufanya maybe 2014, and that's where now I started to learn about investing and a lot of personal finance, right? Investing in the stock market, insurance products, mutual funds, all those things. That's what that opportunity opened up for me.
Yeah, man. So hapa venye umeongea about investments, nikasema nimekuwa tu nikifikiria maybe venye tulikuwa tunafundishwa high school in Kenya. Walikuwa wanatuambia manze, tunapiga hesabu za income tax, tunafanya hesabu za higher purchase, hizo, but hawatuambii venye ni relevant
kwa applicable
in the life ya maisha.
So I feel like hiyo ni kitu wanafaa wa improve on the way wanafanya financial literacy manze.
For sure.
Because after umemaliza hiyo high school, umeingia uni. Sasa ndio unaenda kumanage finances. Ukipiga hizo my internships. Already ushaanza maisha, unacheki. But hiyo ni point kali sana. So hii time umeingia kwa sales hapo. A transition ilikuja aje saa kwa Couco Beads?
So insurance sales. Nilifanya for about I think 18 months to 2 years even. But in the end I didn't feel like it was working out for me. So somewhere I started, because the way that was built, it's like a business, right? It's like a business where, you know, you become an agent, then like a broker, then you have agents. So that is what attracted me to it. It was sort of like a business. But in the end, I realized it doesn't give me the freedom that I usually like to get from owning my own business. So I started looking for another business to do, right? Something else that I can start and you know, utilize my skills that I've been developing. And that's when I came up with the simple idea, because I thought to myself, let me just do a simple business, right? So in a business, there's, you know, I hear a lot of people have the problem of, I want to start a business, but I don't know what to do, right? And that's a very common question. But when you think about starting a business, it doesn't even, whatever the business itself is not a big, it's not a big issue, right? So instead, the way I think about it is, what is the problem I am trying to solve, right? Yes. So the problem can be, I want to make income for myself. Okay, that's not a very popular reason, but that could be the reason. Or the reason could be, I wanted a certain product and I can't find it in the market, or what I find is substandard. Okay, yeah. Or you can start a business to tell a story.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so a good example is like Sony, right? So Sony in Japan, when they started, they didn't have a product. The founder, he didn't have a product, right? So this was, I think, after World War II. Tokyo was in ruins. The place had been, you know. So, but what they wanted was, the story they wanted to tell is because after the war, Japan got shunned and a lot of their products were not up to standard. So they were known for having bad products, right? So what the founder say, his passion was to redefine that story and make sure that Japan is known for high quality products. So that's why he started Sony, right? And their first product, I think, was like a heat pad for like your shoes or something like that, something very simple. And over time, as they started building more and more stuff, today they have the PlayStation, right? That is the standard of video gaming, right? So they accomplished their mission. So that's an example of a business where you the product is not really the main thing, right? So when I started now Couco, I started doing t-shirts, right? I thought, okay, what kind of a business can I start? So usually a retail business is the easiest kind of business to do, where you buy something for $1, you sell it for $2. That is the easiest kind of business that exists. So I understood that. And I wanted to make my business simple. So I started t-shirts, right? So I started printing t-shirts. So like these t-shirts we are wearing, right? So these were like the first edition t-shirts that I printed. So we came up with a couple of designs, right? And then there's printing companies where you send the designs to them and they print them for you, and then you start selling them. So that is how Country Collective was born.
Oh.
Yes.
So the company, the mother company ni Country Collective ama ni Couco Beads?
It's Country Collective. Oh. So Country Collective is an idea. It's an idea for Africa, because Africa is a collection of countries, right? And that collection and that difference is what makes us unique. Understand? And that unity is what strengthens us, right? As being Africans. So Country Collective is a collection of countries, and the goal was to celebrate Africa, right? To be proud to be from Africa, right?
Whoa.
Yes.
Wow.
So that was the
Couco ilitokeaje sasa? Kwanza before ujibu, nili notice kitambo ilikuwa Couco Africa. Hata kwa Instagram handle. But sasa ni Couco Beads.
Couco Beads.
So tuambie about it.
So once I started the t-shirt business, nili learn very fast clothing is not as simple as it seems, right? It's very complicated because it's very saturated, so a lot of people are in the business to begin with, so the competition is very high. And it's very capital intensive because you have to carry all the different sizes, right? Or if you go to, maybe you want to put your clothes somewhere in like a big store, they demand that you must have all the sizes, maybe from small to extra large. So that started to present challenges for me, and I started getting creative, right? Because for me the idea remains, right? And I read about this in a book. When you're a company, the core value, the core idea remains the same, but everything else can change. Okay? So it says the only constant is change. So for the case of Sony, for instance, the idea was to rebrand the naming of of Japanese products. The product doesn't matter. It can be the PlayStation, it can be a TV, it can be a DVD. Right? So I kind of employed the same idea, and I started thinking about which other product can I do that will not present me with the same challenges, but we can keep the idea alive, right? So that's when I started getting into bracelets, right? Because you know, kama wewe ni Mkenya, you must have your Kenyan bracelet. Okay? If you don't have one, you know, you go to couco.ca and you buy one, we send it to you. Okay? Yeah, so every Kenyan has one, and it's something we're very proud of, you know?
Yes.
So I thought it would be a good idea to share that with all the other African countries, right? So that's when I started making different bracelets for different countries. And at the time, because it was like, it is kind of two businesses, right? Two separate businesses. I was having conflicting issues with descriptions and branding and marketing, because the clientele is also different. So I needed to use a different business name. Okay. So usually the way it's set up, like here in Ontario, you can have a company name, but then you can have different business names under the company name, right? So it is the same company, but for branding purposes, you have different brands under the same company, right? Yeah. So that's where Couco Beads now came into play, right? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ulichagua aje hiyo jina?
Couco? So Couco is a short for Country Collective. Right? So COU is a short for country and CO is collective.
Okay.
Right?
Mimi ni ule layman.
Ulikuwa umeshinda unafikiria inamaanisha nini
Yeah, manze.